people are very proud to do and to make this kind of product.
People like Guido. He's a machinist, and he's in charge of the crankshaft. Guido readies the crankshaft for the mammoth task of the day, putting together the 12-cylinder engine for our Murciélago Roadster. He starts out by inspecting the milled steel crankshaft. And now that it's been inspected, it's ready to find a home. The edges will get a better fit once the flashing is removed with an air file. And since it's an $85,000 engine, there's nothing wrong with smoothing out the irregularities on the outside of the block as well. Soon it's time to bring the two together, and the first stages of the block assembly are underway. With the crank in place, the next task is all about the installation of the 12 pistons. It's 12 bits of precise work for 12 heads and 12 arms of sheer force, building an engine that is the hands-down favorite of a certain test driver. The engine with a dozen cylinders of power. When he arrived, Luke quickly learned about the love this place has for its V12.
With Valentino Balboni, when we do the engine, you do the dress, and it's exactly what it's all about.
Next, it's all about taking the camshafts from raw, forged steel to Lambo perfection. And when this cam is working in concert with the rest of the engine, well, you can forget the radio if you're a real Lamborghini driver, because the only music you're gonna want to hear is the song coming from that engine. Before long, the camshaft receives some miking. This is a process that happens at almost every step, with a different micrometer for each task. By miking, the workers can measure to make sure the machine did its job. And since the Murciélago has a twin overhead cam, 4 camshafts need to be checked for our upcoming ride.
I'm a guest here, and the engine is the main...
If an engine is an orchestra, then this would be the string section, the cylinder heads. After an hour of deburring and a quick acid wash, the cylinder head moves on to meet up with a cool little camera. An arthroscopic camera checks for fractures and irregularities in the metal. And there's yet another set of checks and balances as the cylinder head temporarily meets up with the valve covers. Now that the cylinder heads and the camshafts have met up with the block, it's time to prep the motor for the next phase of this engine build. In this area, the V12 goes through pressure checks and cam timing. The valve covers go on, now protecting the 4 finely milled cams. And that's just one way of saying that this 12-cylinder orchestra is almost ready for its premiere performance. But first, it needs its work of art intake manifold, but not until it gets checked out. Was a complete success. And now, it's time to introduce this engine to its new home.